Hi, this is Septimus, and I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about my new Vater drumsticks. So, first of all, why Vater? And the answer to that question is pretty simple to me. These are the best quality drumsticks you can find on the market today, really. They're always straight, they're always very strong, they're always perfectly matched in terms of weight, in terms of pitch or the tone of the drumstick, even in terms of the look. And there's really so much care to detail when it comes to how these drumsticks are made that I think you really can't go wrong with them. Now, Vater produced drumsticks with a higher moisture content than most manufacturers out there, which does two things to the product. These are a bit heavier because of more water being left into the wood, but most of all they're a whole lot more durable. They're a lot stronger than pretty much any hickory drumstick you will find. Also, one interesting factor for me for choosing Vater drumsticks is the history, and these guys have been making drumsticks for longer than all their major competitors, and they have been making drumsticks for some of their major competitors today before becoming Vater drumsticks. So all that knowledge and experience, you can really tell, is being put into this product. And when you pick up a pair of these, you will truly feel, the difference. Now, in terms of using this particular model, I was very sure that I wanted a medium-sized stick because I play all these different styles, from electronic music to death metal and everything in between, all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to make sure I can play everything with, or most of it, with just one drumstick, or one drumstick model, of course. Now, these are the SD9 hickory drumsticks. This is the original version of this is a maple stick that's made for snare percussion, for orchestral snare drum. So you can really tell it's been engineered for that much more nuance. I feel like this drumstick really has the widest dynamic range I've ever encountered in any drumstick. But what I love about it the most is the balance. These are pretty much, they are similar to a 5B, slightly bigger, slightly bigger girth and slightly longer as well, 1/4 of an inch longer than a 5B. But they don't necessarily feel heavier because they're a bit bottom heavy. The neck is slightly thinner than with the 5B, and the tip is also a bit smaller, which produces a gorgeous sound on the ride cymbal, and that's what I've been looking for in a drumstick for a long time. A drumstick that doesn't put too much wood into the sound of the ride, but still has enough cut to be a rock stick and be able to play rock music and death metal, and all that stuff, all the extreme stuff as well. And this stick really is the perfect compromise between all the different elements that I've been looking for in a drumstick. But the balance is really what makes it for me, because I really feel like this is the nicest balanced drumstick in the world, pretty much. Now, I know the trend today is, many drummers go for top-heavy drumsticks, and those top-heavy drumsticks, while they feel great, when you pick them up and hit the drums, and you feel that much more power without more input from you, physically, well, it feels like you can play easier with them, but in fact, it's not quite like that, because the more you play with them, I feel the more vibration comes back into your hands, which on the long run is for sure not something you want to have. Also, the sound on the ride is so much, there's usually too much drumstick in the sound, and these drumsticks produce a beautiful jazz tone with just enough volume and cut to be a good rock drumstick as well. And I really feel, to be honest, since I'm using these drumsticks almost exclusively, this model I mean, that my technique has gone up quite a lot. And I think it's also, well, first of all, it's the model itself, the SD9 hickory, which is really great, but it's also the fact that I'm using just or mainly one drumstick. You know, my philosophy up until very recently, up until getting the endorsement with Vater, was to use the right tool for the job. So I was always changing drumsticks depending on the concert and the band, and even, you know, from practice and rehearsal sessions, you know, from one to the other, I would change drumsticks. And what that does to your technique is it doesn't really allow muscle memory to work, because you don't have enough time for your hands and your muscles to memorize what you've been cultivating. Okay, so when you always, you know, go for a different stick, again, that muscle memory is more or less gone. So you're not really building anything. Something I realized really late in my drumming life. But since I'm playing mostly these drumsticks, these SD9s, I really feel like my technique has gone up a whole lot. So yeah, overall I'm really you know, overexcited to have my signature on a Vater drumstick and to be receiving these drumsticks for free. It's absolutely flattering, and it's, you know, as good as it gets, basically.